मुझे शादी नहीं करनी थी तो मुझे IIM करना पड़ा.
So where did you intern when you were at IIM? And
This is a joke and this is going to be very nice. I interned at Lehman Brothers. And I actually had a PPO. And you wouldn't believe I had a PPO on 1st of September on 2008. I got a call that PPO, very well done. You've got a job. Come join us next year. 14th of September, I actually treated all my friends on campus. PPO आने के बाद पूरे hostel को पूरे campus को treat पे लेके जाया जाता है. And 15th of September morning, my job did not exist. So back to ground zero. I was at Bain for about 6 years. Interestingly, जैसे ही 2009 में IIM pass out किया, बेन में थैंकफुली नौकरी लग गई थी. घर वालों ने बोला हमारे घर में लड़कियां काम नहीं करती है. सो आई कॉल्ड माई बॉयफ्रेंड देन इन लंडन. आई वाज लाइक मेरी शादी तो हो रही है, तुम्हें करनी है क्या? एंड दैट्स व्हाई वी गॉट मैरिड विद इन 2 months बिफोर आई स्टार्टेड माई जॉब एंड देन आई मूव टू लंडन.
welcome guys to Conversations Cafe. We are in Dubai. Conversations Cafe is a show that brings ordinary Indians to you who've done extraordinary work. They are people just like you and me. They just strive for more. They worked harder. And most importantly, they made the right career choices. The one question that we ask everybody at All to by InsideIIM is this. Do you invest in yourself enough? Our next guest for today is somebody who I am extremely excited to invite. Extremely privileged to welcome Reema Mahajan Gupta. She is the founder of the Indian Women in Dubai. But apart from that, she plays many other roles. She's been part of the corporate world. She also has the haloed IIT IIM tags on her CV. She's worked in top consulting firms like Bain and has had an eclectic career. But what she is known for today in the recent times is the incredible movement here in Dubai, which is called as the IWD. If it was a company, which was being valued in the real world, I think it would be well on its way to becoming a unicorn already. And I'm really not exaggerating this. I think once we hear more from her, we'll probably know more about it. And I think we are all super excited to listen to her. So can I have a big round of applause for Reema Mahajan?
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Reema, for doing this. Great to see you in person. Been following you on Instagram, following you on LinkedIn, with all your motivational posts on a daily basis, and also incredible work that you do with the community. And we'll come to that. But let's start from the early years. Where are you from in India? What were you thinking of as a young child growing up? What were your aspirations? Tell us about the early days of your life.
I was born in Chandigarh. I come from a very traditional Indian family. I was good at studies, but my dad was an advocate. तो मेरे को बस एक ही चीज़ पता थी कि lawyer नहीं बनना है. फिर मेरे मामा आए. I was into CA and finance. Both my mamas are into finance. So they have a natural influence on you. So I thought, okay, 10th में I'll go into finance after this. So I'll do the commerce grad. Fortunately or unfortunately, number बहुत अच्छे आए. School top किया, Chandigarh top किया. तो everybody was like, आपकी बेटी को तो engineering करना चाहिए. Non-med is the obvious option if she can't do medical. Then the journey started. 2 years of back-to-back maths, physics, chemistry, tuitions, coaching. I think anybody who has studied for IIT would know the drill. I've done it all.
You didn't go to Kota or anything. You worked from Chandigarh.
Yeah, I come from a family jahan pe I am the first girl who is educated and has gone out of her house. Most of the girls end up doing arts. Maybe all my tayajis, my masis, my buajis, all the family didis have all done BA और उसके बाद शादी हो जाती है. That is the tradition. So I'm the first girl in the whole family who actually left home for college. And it was a big movement at my place. I had to almost revolt कि मैं जाऊँगी तो मैं जाऊँगी basically. So उस time पे कोई option नहीं था. कोटा तो in 10th class, 11th class I couldn't even think of. I think चंडीगढ़ से हो गया. I'm very grateful for that.
Did engineering interest you or was it कि because number अच्छा है तो लोगों ने बोला कर दो?
नंबर अच्छे आए और हम पहुंच गए. एंड आई थिंक सब कहते थे कि इंजीनियरिंग कर लो तो नौकरी लग जाएगी. लॉयर बनना नहीं था, फैमिली बिजनेस था नहीं, देयर वाज नो शॉप फॉर मी टू गो बैक टू. नौकरी करनी थी. आई वांटेड टू जस्ट डू समथिंग इन लाइफ, दैट्स ऑल. आई डिडंट इवन नो व्हाट इंजीनियरिंग वाज. आई वाज द ओनली गर्ल फ्रॉम चंडीगढ़ हु गॉट थ्रू IIT rankings that year. You won't believe, I had a very good rank. I could have gotten a better stream if I had gone to a different IIT, but my condition was घर से दूर नहीं जाना है. So चंडीगढ़ से हम सिर्फ दिल्ली पहुंच सकते थे. एंड दिल्ली में सिर्फ केमिकल इंजीनियरिंग मिल रहा था मेरे रैंक पे. सो आई एंडेड अप डूइंग, आई एम अ बैचलर्स इन केमिकल इंजीनियरिंग एंड आई एम अ मास्टर्स इन प्रोसेस इंजीनियरिंग एंड डिज़ाइन. And trust me, 1 month into campus and doing the first chemical engineering course, I realized I'm so bad at it. I was so bad at it. And I could never imagine myself sitting in a chemical factory and doing what chemical engineers do. So hats off to all the mass transfers and the heat transfers and whatever else goes on.
It's interesting given that you're saying that you had practically no support as such from the family or you did not see people around you doing this. Where did you get the drive from कि नहीं मुझे तो करना ही है, I want to go to a different city, a new college, and IIT? Did you know about the prestige of the IITs back then? So where did the drive come from? Somebody must have been pushing you, right?
Honestly, there were no role models when I started. There's nobody in my seniors or before me who has ever gone to IIT in my family, even extended family or friends. Chandigarh में बहुत अच्छा college है. It's called Punjab Engineering College, PEC. I think a lot of people would know. I got computer science there. I think I was one of the toppers there. बट किसी ने थैंकफुली पापा को इतना चमका दिया था कि IIT और PEC में काफ़ी डिफरेंस है रैंकिंग का. सो यू शुड, इवन इफ शी इज गेटिंग केमिकल इंजीनियरिंग एट IIT, you should send her there. And thankfully, you know, some God blessed and he agreed that I reached Delhi basically.
So tell us about life in Delhi. I guess this is again early 2000s that you're talking about. Very different India. Today India is relatively safer and, you know, very different, digitally connected. You know, you can track things, etc. Yeah. That's a time when if you're out of the house, then essentially you are dependent on, you know, just people calling and you figuring out things, right? And look, I know I come from Mumbai, but surely even you would agree that Delhi didn't have a great reputation.
Delhi didn't have a great reputation, but luckily for IIT as a campus is very safe.
Right.
I did not venture too much out of the campus in the first year. I had a few Delhi friends. My roommate was luckily from Delhi. So yeah, I think Delhi was a shock. I come from an all-girls school, having never spoken to boys till class 12. I think I landed in a campus where there were like 50 girls and I think 500 boys. So you can imagine the ratio and the instinct for survival in that campus. So that was a good learning for myself. I think a big change in me, in growing up, in just figuring out what life is in reality.
This bit about, you know, 50 women and 500 men, and again, thankfully things are changing now, but that must have been hard because again, I think there would be no role models ever, right? The best jobs are also potentially going to all the men. Any alumni who are coming typically would also be men who would be coming and talking to you. So how did you get inspiration to kind of move ahead, etc.? Because today is very different. Today, for example, at the IIMs, at some of the IIMs, they manage 50% parity. 30% is now routine at every IIM today. So it's a very different world we live in. So how was it for you back then?
At our times, it was less than 10%, honestly. And I think, but the good thing is when you go into campus and when you go into the hostels, IIT में hostel feeling बहुत होता है. I'm pretty sure anybody who knows IIT will understand. I went to Kailash hostel. उस time पे एक ही hostel होता था when I joined. Now I think there are 2 or 3 of them. We got ragged for the first 2 weeks by our seniors, and उसमें ragging is a very good form of interaction. Honestly, it was very healthy. There was nothing negative about it. They trained us how to deal with boys. They taught us galis because they said you should understand it if somebody says it to you. Because honestly, I did not. I still probably don't understand half of them. But उस time तो मैं बिल्कुल ही बच्ची थी. So I think that ragging or that interaction for the first 2 weeks made us much stronger. Both as that we could lean on to everybody who got ragged with us. So you know, you kind of knew the 50 girls getting ragged with you. You were on the same boat. That actually makes a much stronger bond with you. And you also interact with your seniors whom you lean on for mentorship, for advice, for just going on in situations which you can't handle yourself.
So you said, right, that you didn't want to do chemical engineering. And so what were the next career steps, if at all? I know that you would have wanted to do something. That's very clear. But did you then start looking at, okay, I want to maybe go on the business side, or I want to become an engineer in a particular field, maybe join software for all you know? What was the thinking at that time?
Yeah, software coding, I never got it. Thankfully, I didn't do computers. I went to, after campus, I joined Bain. So consulting, because you know the GAN was consulting kar lo, you will get to know about a lot of industries, and then you can decide a longer term corporate career that you want to go into. I think Bain and any other consulting companies, whether it's McKinsey, BCG, are great grounds for drilling some of the lifelong things that you will remember. Bain has a 3-step feedback process. The first one is analytical skills. I am the god of PowerPoint presentations and Excel spreadsheets. I can make it at the back of my mind. I think the number of models I've built in my Bain career, I was called on PE cases, private equity cases, just to build very complex models. But you know, some of those skills that I learned in the corporate world actually help me now that I'm almost kind of an entrepreneur and a social media influencer. So the analytics part of it comes to you. You know, you would analyze. I still analyze my posts in my current term that I do, right? The second thing that they measure you at Bain is your communication skills. So, you know, they would coach you regularly on communication, because you're not only interacting with clients, you're also interacting with your team. And by virtue of Bain, because I worked in India and then I worked in London later on, communication skills or talking to your clients and your team is equally important, because you work in multicultural teams, right? And the third aspect that they teach you is teamwork. And teamwork is super important, whether you are working, you're running your own shop, or you're working in a corporate shop. Anywhere you go, you have to be able to navigate big teams, small teams, and work together. And I think these 3 skills that Bain gave me is actually the grounding of what I am today.
So then did IIM come naturally after that, or was that another accident, or? Because you clearly seem to like your time at Bain.
Yeah, I did. I loved it. But I'll also tell you that मुझे शादी नहीं करनी थी, तो मुझे IIM करना पड़ा. So I actually one day called up my mom and said, मुझे एक बार CAT और देने दो. Let me try once more. If I get through, please give me 2 more years to just study. Which my mom thought is very convenient to explain to all the relatives in our house कि मेरी बेटी तो अभी पढ़ रही है, उसकी शादी नहीं करेंगे, 2 साल बाद करेंगे. I think I got a call from Bangalore, Calcutta. So I cracked BCLIK. And I think his sub में top was Bangalore. I didn't get an A call, thankfully, but I'm very glad. I loved my time at IIM Bangalore. I think when you get the chance to study second time and go back to a campus, you appreciate it even more. IIT was the first campus, first hostel. I made some great friends for life. The second time when I actually went to IIM Bangalore, you actually, I think MBA colleges give you the network which no other thing in the world gives you. So the type of people we interacted with was very diverse from different backgrounds. I just had 1 year of experience, but there was a person who had 12 years of experience and had done 3 startups and successfully sold them. So imagine the moment of talking to that, and that person is doing the same course as you in the same class. So I always used to look up to these people who come up from different diverse backgrounds and have come to IIM for different reasons, but it was always nice to be there.
So where did you intern when you were at IIM? And
this is a joke, and this is going to be very nice. I interned at Lehman Brothers. And I actually had a PPO, and you wouldn't believe I had a PPO on 1st of September on 2008. I got a call that PPO, very well done. You've got a job. Come join us next year. 14th of September, I actually treated all my friends on campus. PPO आने के बाद पूरे hostel को, पूरे campus को treat पे लेके जाया जाता है. And 15th of September morning, my job did not exist. So back to ground zero. I belong to a batch of 2008 where only 8 people got day 0 placements. So ours was the toughest placement in history from what I know. And I think it was a life-changing thing.
For people who couldn't understand this, essentially, because of the internship work, you get a PPO earlier. So she would have gotten a pre-placement offer on 1st September. And she would have been on the top of the world, treated her friends. And then 15th September, the company itself didn't exist. Again, for people who don't know about the global financial crisis, please read about the Lehman moment, as they keep saying, right? Again and again. But one fine day, people just woke up and realized that the company didn't exist. So obviously her job didn't exist either. So you had to work hard again, sit for placements, etc. in a very, very tough environment. So where did you finally make it after that?
I went back to Bain. I think it helps to come from that background. Bain only took 2 people from campus that year, which is the lowest traditionally the hiring the consultings were doing in that time. Thankfully, I had done a great job at Bain. I had a good CGPA to, sort of tell them at IIM. So they took me back and I'm very glad for that.
So with respect to your consulting career, what are some of the most memorable, stints that you had with companies either in India or abroad, which you really treasure? You'd like to tell us about?
I think consulting is a great career because as a young 25-year-old girl, I was standing in front of senior CFOs and CEOs explaining them why they should do their business differently. You're actually advisors and you get some real world problems because India mein us time pe consulting was growing. And I remember standing in front of a very senior guy, 30 years of experience, telling him why his Excel sheet is wrong because mine is better. So yeah, I think consulting gives you that options, but it's equally grilling. It's not easy to stand in front of those people. So you need to do the homework before you go there.
Any specific sector that you had a focus on when you were at Bain? Were you mapped to a particular group? Like typically there used to people used to work only in telecom, media, technology. Some people used to work on finance. So did you have any such?
So at Bain, we are generalists. You don't specialize until you go to the manager level. I don't know if that's changed now, but 10 years ago, that was the case. I worked across sectors, but I did a lot more work in IT and private equity and M&A. So I've done a lot of private equity models, deal side, sell side, buy side, both. And I've done a lot of work. So I've been in calls with senior PE guys telling them why they should not buy a particular company that they buy. My most memorable deal, though, which we can share publicly, I'm allowed now, is Jimmy Choo. So we were involved in the sales of Jimmy Choo back in 2011. Jimmy Choo is one of the biggest luxury brands. And, believe me, I was an analyst, 2 years, 3 years into the job. And I used to go to these presentations with CEOs and CFOs and walk into the room with full of bags and shoes. A dream for every girl who would walk in, honestly, with the best shoes and the best bags and the best founders out there. So I think that is one of the most memorable projects I've worked on at Bain.
Yeah, small plug for my side, guys. We have a very robust consulting program, which we've been running for almost 2 years now. And there is a reason why it is so popular. Very clearly, Reema just mentioned all the reasons why people want to get into consulting. So yeah, please do have a look at it on our website. So yeah, Reema, you were at Bain. So how long did you spend at Bain?
I was at Bain for about 6 years. Interestingly, जैसे ही 2009 में IIM पास आउट किया, Bain में thankfully नौकरी लग गई थी. घर वालों ने बोला हमारे घर में लड़कियां काम नहीं करती हैं. So I called my boyfriend then in London. I was like, मेरी शादी तो हो रही है, तुम्हें करनी है क्या? And that's why we got married within 2 months before I started my job, and then I moved to London.
So you had to do IIM to delay marriage, and then you had to marry to continue work.
I think that unfortunately that's probably the reality of a lot of girls in India. I'm really hoping it's changed in the last 10 years, but I graduated in 2009. So 12 years ago, honestly, that is my reality. And sometimes you have to do things that you have to do. It's only 14 years back and girls still have to go through that struggle, right?
Yeah, I think the reality has changed. Probably not for everyone though. So you are right. There are still many women like you who are probably still going through the same journey that you're talking about.
And especially, I think it's more easier to say that in Delhi and Bombay. I always find those people more open, more opportunities for girls. But if you come from a tier 2 city like Chandigarh from mine, I still feel the places are more conservative. It takes a lot more effort to move out, for a girl to move out of town and find job. Although I'm finding it easier, but I still feel the struggle is much more higher than a guy coming from the same town.
If a guy has gotten into IIT, IIM, Bain, etc., so लोग मिठाइयाँ बांटते हैं. On the other side, trying to fight every single thing कि IIT जाने के लिए fight करो पहले, फिर शादी रुकवानी है तो तुम IIM जा रहे हो, and then again if you want to work again you need to get married, right? Despite the fact that it's a fabulous job with a great brand. Did that ever kind of feel unfair to you, that or you just accepted it?
I think I didn't accept it. I always fought it in my own way and in my own limitations. But yeah, I think I'm not one of those who will just accept what you take. I have to think and say, no, I really want to do this and let's see how we can make the whole support system to do this. And that's kind of, I've been throughout like that. What gives me joy is these real success stories of women who have actually started with us 3 years back, moved from 1 bedroom to 2 bedroom to 3 bedroom. And their husbands come and thank me in meetups now because I'm keeping their your wives constructively busy, you know. If you're not using your talent and passion for something, right, you will get depressed, you know. You will feel that ki kuch ho nahi raha life mein, but I don't know what to do. So I think we are that platform for a lot of women to come forward and do something different in life and follow their passion, follow their creativity, and create a little mini career for themselves out of it. So why not?